Okay.
Our next question is from Ron. Raj, I'm still interested in healing through ACIM, knowing that my perception of my body and mind needs to change. I'm asking for your help in seeing my hernia differently. I believe that starting with myself would help me along the road towards healing others. Thank you, your brother, Ron.
Well, actually, I think you want to see your non-hernia better. You see, if you're neither behind the point of perfection nor advancing toward it, then you must approach your healing as it already being done. Because your body could not really have become less or different from this is not good English, but different from what God has been being it as. If you approach this healing as a correcting of something that has become actual, you're getting rid of something. You're attempting to manipulate matter. And that's not what healing is about. Healing is the uncovering of the fact that the problem never happened, except as a distorted perception. The reason being that there is no matter. The visibility and tangibility of creation is the visibility and tangibility of ideas in the mind of God. Through the use of the imagination, you can seem to distort the idea. And then because you're calling the idea a material form rather than an idea, you think that you have a real physical problem. And matter has to be rearranged. So again, what it amounts to is that you're still working inside the box instead of moving back out into the larger context of you as being consciousness, mind, in which all is being experienced. So, don't visualize your body getting better. Don't visualize matter reconfiguring. I want you to give your attention to remembering that all there is in that area are ideas which are incapable of forgetting the pattern, if you will, set into motion by the Father that looks like such and such. You see, you want to let the healing happen. And what that means is that you want to let the idea register with you correctly. You see? There's nothing to force. There's nothing to manipulate. There's nothing for you to change. what the Father has set into motion cannot be altered. Creation is eternal. Every idea that the Father has is eternal, unchangeable, unalterable. If that's true, then nothing has been altered except perception. This you will demonstrate or prove as what would be called a recognizable healing when you abandon attempting to change matter and give your attention to everything in the area of the hernia, and remembering that every aspect of it is constituted of ideas which were God's ideas, which are God's ideas, and which will always be God's ideas, and therefore are unalterable and have not been changed. In other words, not being behind the point of perfection or advancing toward it, you must understand that area of your body as being at that point and not requiring a special compensation to you or something special or a miracle. A sudden shift of perception is what a miracle is. And we're talking about shifting perception from an interpretation of form as matter to the recognition of it as idea, God's idea. That's how you step out of the box. That's how you step back to the larger view and ask the Holy Spirit or ask your guide to help the true perception to register with you, to help you be allowing enough of it for it to register with you, so that it's not just an idea you heard about from me, but it's your own conscious experience. I want to invite everyone who's listening, watching, to give more attention to healing than you do. The study of the Course or the study of spirituality is not just so that you have a better, more affectionate mindset that inspires you and allows you to have improved experiences in your life with your fellow man. It's about actual correction. It's about actual healing. It's about broken teeth not being broken any longer. It's about a rash disappearing. It's about evidential truth. And if you start to get the sniffles, don't just say, oh, well, okay, I got the cold again, you know. Don't say that. Say, oh, wait a minute. See, there's the hesitation. And it stops you from going down the road of all your definitions about having a cold. Can this be true about me if what I am is God presencing Himself here? Is this part of God? No. You see, correct it in your mind so that you don't go down the road of memory the memory lane about colds or rashes or broken teeth, you see. Hesitate to let the truth come into your mind rather than memory. There need to be more instances of healing occurring, because correction of illusions is what it's all about. Evidential evidence of healing, you see? And so I encourage you to give more attention to this. It's ridiculous for any of you to feel in a more blissful state without any correction manifest. And I don't think I have to yell it to you in order for it to register with you. Let it register simply and gently. And then change your habit when something presents itself that is a call for correction. Okay.
Our next question is from Grace. I have some fear about eye surgery that is coming up in the near future. How will the surgery come out, and what can I do about my fear?
Again, fear is a choice. It profits you nothing. Absolutely nothing. It is an absolute waste of time and energy, and therefore it is a poor use of your mind. When you find it whispering in your ear, tell it to shut up and consciously give your attention to something at hand. There is no call whatsoever for concern, and everything will go smoothly. But even if I hadn't told you that, it still would have been appropriate for you to diligently give your attention to not indulging in fear. Fear doesn't just come to you. There's an inclination to indulge in it. And it's a choice. Remember that. It's always a choice. Just as anger is, just as frustration is, it's always a choice. No one has their hands on the controls of what will occupy your mind except you. And what you're learning now, all of you, is that the best choice for the best use of your mind is to actually stop thinking and listen. But no matter what the apparent options are, it's always a choice. You are never doing anything with your mind or in your mind that isn't determined by you. And that's what makes you sovereign. That is what keeps you from being an innocent victim, an interminable victim of anything. Remember that. Okay.
The next question is from Marilyn. How can I find a husband? Will I find a husband? And what can I do to increase my chances?
I would suggest you find another goal. It's like very often when you lose something and you diligently and strenuously search for it, and the minute you stop looking for it, your eyes fall upon it. I want to turn your attention to what gift do you want to make in your life, in your world? You're here to make a gift. You're here to be a gift. Give your attention to that. And do whatever you need to do to be able to facilitate the making of that gift. Ultimately, when you're involved in making the gift, you become very attractive to everyone because you are such a blessing. And that includes eligible bachelors. Together with ineligible married men. And I mention that because the likelihood is that you will have to be clear enough to turn them away, something you might not have expected. But you attend to making your gift. That's the end of the answer.
The next question is from Dennis. Raj, is there a fulfilling relationship in store for me this year? If yes, please give any helpful advice. If no, please tell me where would you have me direct my energies and attention?
I would tell you exactly the same thing I just said in the last answer. Neediness is a very unattractive quality. In other words, it makes people uncomfortable and blocks the way. It really is true for you as well, that you need to find a grounded way to make your gift. The flow needs to be one of extension outward, in embrace of others, not so that you can get, but because it's your fulfilling function, or your function of fulfillment, to be glorifying God. In other words, to be looking to see the evidence of love and to be the evidence of love. That's what opens the door for reciprocity, communion, relationship, involvement. Okay.
This question is from Sunrose. Raj, thank you for all that you have done for us. I am working to show my gratitude by hesitating, and yet, as you well know, I'm too quick many times and am shooting from the hip instead of pausing. Please help me to pause and listen. I do have a question that I'm asking reluctantly. It is about my daughter's trust that has disappeared. As much as we could use it, I don't want to see these family members go to jail. And yet, I feel like I'm not being fair to my daughter, not doing anything. So far, I haven't heard you say to do anything, and my listening seems blocked on this. Please guide me on how to handle it, since I haven't the faintest idea what to do. Thank you, and I love you.
This is not a question to be answered in this venue. We will deal with it in another way. Okay.
Our next question is from Nina. Hello, Raj. I would like to ask today about the potential for a relationship with a partner which I have been feeling the need, and I have been ignored it. Now I admit that I need to have a relationship, and I would like to ask you if my friend Anthony, that has given me lots of support lately, especially with my health problems and my panic about them, is an appropriate partner for me, or is it my fears lately that make me want to rely on him for safety reasons?
No, it's not your fear. It is a recognition of genuine connection. And it is appropriate to allow a relationship to develop. Or shall I say, it's appropriate to participate in the nurturing of a relationship with him. That's the end of the answer.
The next question is from Thomas. Hi, Raj, Paul, Susan, Chris, and everyone. My question is, does it serve a purpose to remain in the relationship I have with Lisa?
Oh, yes. It does. And I encourage you to be sensitive to what those things are and to nurture them rather than doubts. Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay, the next question is from Jane. Thank you, Raj and Paul. I am buying a house in the hopes of making enough money to pay off my debts. Is this a good move? Will I be safe and happy in the house? What should I do about the friend who wants to rent my current home when I move, but who has no job? He will be homeless if I don't let him stay. I appreciate any guidance you can give.
I'm sorry. It is absolutely not appropriate to let your friend stay there. It does not represent what will promote his healing and the correction of the inequity in his experience. And it is appropriate for you, entirely appropriate for you, to rent or lease that property. I'm being very clear here and unequivocal. You have a green light all the way regarding the purchase and the move. It is in order. It identifies fulfillment. Okay.
This is a question from Santa Fe. When I get still, I hear a very high-pitched sound like electric wires buzzing. Is this strictly physical, or does this have some other purpose or meaning?
No, it is strictly physical. is a sound generated by the blood flowing through the veins in the areas of your ears, which you don't hear when you are busy thinking or engaged in activities or in an environment that is noisy. It has only the significance that it indicates to you that you have managed to be in a very quiet environment. Okay.
The next question is from Pauline. Dear Raj,
From whom?
From Pauline.
Okay.
Dear Raj, is there anything else I can do to help my mum? I have, I trust, done everything following guidance. And it seemed a miracle was happening when she was taken off all the drugs, but now she has been put back on them to help her sleep at night and during the day too, which have made her totally confused again. Is this the best way for all concerned? I know God's will is what is best for all. Thank you and love, Pauline.
You are doing everything you can at the present time, and it is important for you not to get too involved regarding her medication. What you would do for yourself is not necessarily what another would do for herself. And what is unfolding in her experience, the details, the medication, etc., is specifically appropriate for her because it does not cause her to act outside of her comfort zone. And therefore, you must let divine love meet her need in the language of her present capacity to hear or let in what is actually loving. Okay.
The next question is from Dahara. Raj, thank you for helping with my son. My question now is about my sister Anne. Is there something I can do for her?
Your sister is going through a period of growth in which it is necessary for her to pay attention to and evaluate her choices. It is very important for you not to be too strongly present and by your presence distract her from this self-examination that must occur. Be there for her. I'm going to say with reluctance, and what I mean by that is don't be overtly out there up front with her on her behalf so strongly